The Google Gang Podcast.
Whereabouts did you get your jacket from?
This jacket, you know Cow in the Northern Quarter?
Cow?
Yeah.
The store is called Cow?
Yeah, it's called Cow and it's like a boutique thrift shop or something.
Okay.
Cost 40 quid and it was a bargain of the century. Like if I was walking through the middle of Texas and I came across a store and they said this will be $200, I'd be like, yes, sign me up, Scotty. It's unreal.
Is it really warm on the inside?
Yeah, like I could be homeless and be warm. Like it is so nice.
Have you thought about being homeless?
Not in this country, but in other countries, like in Barcelona or Tenerife, like it's an unreal life. Like it very rarely rains. You've got good shelter. You can go to the beach. They've got showers on the beach. You've got like laundrettes, and if you really wanted a roof over your head, you can get an Airbnb. You can get a hostel for like 11 quid a night. So like, I'd be homeless in Barcelona, I reckon. I've got the look going on.
If you could pick anywhere in the world to be homeless, it would be Barcelona.
Absolutely, yeah. No better. It's so touristy. The homeless people over there earn so much money. Like some of them are getting like 60 quid a day, and they look proper trampy. Like, and there's one guy, he stands at the top near one of the big shopping centres, and he wears a suit every day, and he looks really, really smart. And he goes up to people and says, I'm really sorry, I've lost my wallet. Is any chance you give me €5 to get on the metro? He probably gets like 100 people. No, he probably gets like 20 people a day. Give him a £5. 100 quid a day is a good day's work. Like I don't care who you are.
So he's just does he have a home?
He's done it for like 5 years. Yeah, I think he's got an house and everything. That's just his act. Like that's his homeless gig.
Oh my god!
Fucking genius, eh?
There's been stories about like people outside like supermarkets and that, and literally their like partner or whatever will drop them off out the front to be homeless for the day.
A lot of the Romanians come here and do it.
Yeah,
like, they did it at the Christmas markets and stuff. And
people will like give them food and that, and they'll be like, no, I don't want food, I want money. Because they've bought a fucking packed lunch from home. They've got like only cheese and salami sandwiches.
They live the high life, don't they? Yeah. I feel they do better than us, you know. I reckon they get to go to Benidorm like twice a year. Yeah. And then we're struggling to get to Blackpool, like the shit cunts.
Fucking the homeless, mate. Don't be so kind. But then it cheapens the whole situation, because then you have this negative connotation towards the homeless people and the people that are actually fucked up.
Yeah, I think you can tell nowadays who's genuinely homeless, who genuinely isn't. I feel you get the people who their everyday life is on the street, so that they know they're going to get stuff eventually. They've got a lot of support around them from like charities and stuff, so they don't need to sit there and be desperate and say, give me money. They're the people who I give money to, who are just doing their own thing, and I feel, you know what, if I can give you a £5 or a tenner and it's going to make your day, sound.
Yeah.
So it's no sweat off my back kind of thing. Not in like I'm not rich. Shit, but
walking around like slinging tennis. Like, who wants one?
I'll probably do like 2 a week. I'll probably give away like 20 quid a week to like people who think, you know what, you definitely deserve this more than I do. And if you want to go and get cracked off your tits and it's going to make you happy, sound. You know what? Who am I to piss on your parade?
Who am I to say you can't get off your fucking ringer?
Exactly. Go on, son.
Well, look, it is James Livingston. Do you want to be James Livingston today?
Yeah, James. Yes. Obviously, I've got two names. My real name is Curtis, but I created this character called James Livingston. There's a couple of reasons. First one, I think it's nice to set up early days a brand and a business if you want to progress it to an unreal level. So when Stephen Frayne became Dynamo, he then started to look at it as a business, not just as a hobby or to like get free drinks on the night out. It became a business for him, and then he created Dynamo, and it's not just a business anymore, it's a complete brand. He's got merchandise, like box sets, he's got everything. So my mindset was, I'll create an alter ego that I can perform as, and he can be a character for business, and then when I'm not working, I've got Curtis for friends and family. So when I'm not Curtis, I'm quite a monotone kind of guy. I'm just like pretty mongy, and I do fuck all. But when I'm James, you're like, look at this guy, he's the man, he's the one.
Fucking impressive. So you're turning on James today for me?
Yeah, I'm giving you a bit of both, so nice down the middle.
That's good. That's good. I appreciate that. I really do.
Anytime.
So you are a close-up magician.
I am, yeah.
/ comedian.
So I say full-time magician, part-time comedian.
Okay.
Because I probably make about $3,000 a year from comedy, I reckon. Because if you look at my act when I'm doing magic, probably $3,000 of that I earn is probably from being funny, and the rest is from being talented. So full-time comedian, part-time magician.
Right, that's good.
And it's just it's a work in progress. I want to take it to like, I'd love to have a full stand-up comedy show that sells out an arena. Like that's the end goal. And if I only get halfway there, I'll have had a good time, and it'll be good when my grandkids are looking back at me and go, my granddad was proper cool. You know, like, he did all these pubs to old men doing card tricks. He's very good.
So who got you into magic? What got you into magic?
So I wanted to be about poker dealing in the casinos.
Okay.
I started playing poker and I was like, mate, look at those guys just flinging the cards. I was like, I want to do that. So I started learning to shuffle cards.
So your aspiration was just to be a poker dealer?
I just wanted to be a poker dealer because I love the game poker so much. And so I saw them shuffling. I was like, right, I'm going to learn to shuffle. And when you do something so consistently, you find different elements of it. So I learned when I was shuffling that I could keep hold of one card every time. And then I was like, that's probably a magic trick. So I started looking into magic and I learned this proper shit trick. Everyone buzzed off it, and when I was like, I'm proper cool, look at, they love me, I'm cool. And then I saw these magicians performing, and I proper fell in love with the reaction they got. They were able to take an adult and bring them to become a kid just for like a moment. And and a lot of the time people will say, you've made my day, you've made my weekend, and there's no better feeling in the world. So when I saw these guys performing, I looked at it, I was like, that's what I want to do for a living. So I spent like a year and a half just practicing. And then I got my big break. I got it. It was a good one.
What was your big break?
So I was working in a bar doing magic, and
so you weren't one of the bar staff?
No,
just employed you to do magic.
I got €20 a night.
Okay.
And anybody who bought me a drink, I got to keep the money for that. So that was my gig. So I'd probably make like £50 a night. And when you first start out, I'm doing card tricks every day. I'm like, £50. That is. I was 90. I was 20, I think. Yeah, I was 20 years old, getting £50 a day to do card tricks. I was like, I'm a top shagger.
I'm a fucking legend.
Yeah. And then there was a DJ who worked in one of the other bars, and he ended up moving back to Liverpool, and he was working with an events company, and the guy who owned the company was, do you know Phil Thompson off Sky Sports?
No.
He's got a son, and he owned this events company. And he always worked with like Stephen Gerrard, so I ended up being asked to do Stephen Gerrard's Christmas party.
Right.
At his house, go and do magic. So I met all these like celebrities, and then I got like a few gigs. So I got to do a thing for the We Free Kings Foundation.
What year was this?
2012.
Okay.
September 2012. I started doing magic in the bar, and then I came back to England in December 2012 to do the Stevie G gig and like a few other things. And then word of mouth got out, and then I just kind of became the kid who does magic tricks for a living. So it was good.
So you never had another job beforehand?
I was a PR abroad. I was one of those knobheads, like you get 2 drinks, 2 shots for €5 if you come in my bar.
Right, okay.
Other than that, I'd worked in like McDonald's, Subway, Burger King. In like the space of 3 months, I covered all 3 of them.
Really? And then you just fucking quit because they're all shit?
Yeah, carried on college.
Great food, but fucking terrible place to work.
And then I had the choice of going to uni or going abroad, and I was like, right, I'm going to go to uni. I'm not going to uni, so I ended up pissing off to Ibiza, and I spent the summer in Ibiza. And then, I stayed abroad ever since from then, really. So
fucking hell. And now you're back permanently living in England? Or
a bit of both. So I came back in November to take advantage of the Christmas markets because it was so busy. It was a really good opportunity for me to, one, make money through tips, 2, build my social media because there were so many people out every day, and 3, get gigs from it. So a lot of the Christmas parties that I did this summer came from performing around the German markets.
Right.
And
you just walk up to people and just...
Yes, I'll see a group of people and I'll say... when it's a group of lads, I always say this thing. I don't know why, but it works. I'll go, excuse me, I'm not like trying to shag you, but would anyone like to see a magic trick? And everyone's caught off guard, so they turn around and listen to you. Yeah. Because a lot of people will get approached, like if you're out and about and someone tries to approach you, everyone does it the same. They'll say, excuse me, have you got a minute? Yeah. Instantly you're like, nah, I'm alright. Yeah. So if you say something that takes people off guard, they then want to give you the time of day to understand what you've actually just said.
Do you say it to lasses as well, or you are trying to shag them so you don't want to lie?
If it's I've got no game with girls, so if anyone wants to slide into my DMs, they are open.
That was the most desperate plea for pussy I've ever fucking seen.
Honestly, it's been a while.
Oh my god, so, if you want to slide into my DMs, they're open.
Well,
Fuck yeah.
You know what? What's the worst?
Stick to magic, mate.
It's worth a try, isn't it? If it's a couple, I'll say like, I'm not trying to shag any of you, but and then act a bit camp, like I kind of Freddie Mercury up a little bit because I don't know, it really works. I'm like, I use words like saucy. I'm like, oh, you're so saucy. I was like, oh, he's just a Freddie Mercury wannabe.
It's just a little gay fucking card trick.
Oh, what a nonce. Good at card tricks there.
So, what's the reception been like from people like since you've been back? Because I feel like, are you still doing the same tricks you were doing back in 2012, or is it getting better and better every time?
Yes and no. I have this repertoire that I've done for years, and it just fits perfectly. Everything's got a start, a middle, and end, and there's a story with it all, and it just fits nicely. And for me, it's the same shit every day, but the people I'm performing for, it's brand new for them. So they don't know that I've done that for day in, day out for years. So for them, it's exciting. And a bit like when Domino's, if they have a really good menu, right, and they don't really change it because why fix what's not broken? So it's the same with me. It works really well. I know the reactions I'm going to get, so why would I change it? I do learn new tricks quite often, and if I think it's really good, I'll do it every now and again. Or if I'm at an event for a long time, I'll do one group once, do my routine, they then know I'm good. So then the second time I approach them, it gives me time to like try new things, and because they know I'm good, they give me the time of day to do these things.
Yeah, and they might be a bit more lenient with you as well. Like,
yeah.
Do you think people are looking to try and figure it out straight off the bat?
Yeah, people always want to know, and the sad thing is now with magic's like dead now because you can YouTube everything. So back in the day when someone put a card into a deck and then it jumped to the top without you seeing, you'd look at it and you go, that was fucking magic. But now you can watch it on YouTube and go, oh, he did a double lift and he didn't put it in. Oh, that's shit, innit?
Yeah.
So,
do you like that show, Breaking the Magician's Code?
Was that the guy with the mask?
Yes.
You know what? He is the worst magician you will ever meet. Like,
really?
It was all set up, and like you could go onto that show, you could wear the mask, and you'd have a team that would say, right, you need to walk this path here, you need to do this, and then that's that. He went on a TV show in Italy, I think it was, and he tried doing a simple find the four aces, like it's one you get in a kid's magic book to do.
Yeah.
He fucked it up on like live TV, and then he just couldn't recover. Thank God he was wearing his mask, because he would have been proper blushing underneath.
They've taken the mask off. He's some like...
Yeah.
I think he's like Argentinian or just some like random guy. Like no one's ever heard of him.
No, he's weird, but he makes a killing, you know. He makes a lot of money.
What, being the masked magician, or...?
Yeah, he'll probably be doing like 6 figures a year, just in what's the word?
Royalties.
Royalties, yeah, probably from that show and all the other stuff he does. I reckon he'll be clearing 6 bags a year.
Fucking hell! But do magicians actually hate him?
No, I think he's good for magic because you don't know anything about magic from my point of view. You only know magic from an entertainment point of view. So if that comes to mind for you for magic, it means it's still relevant as a thing. So it's good for us because if something's not relevant, people aren't interested. So to have shows like that, Dynamo and stuff like that, it's good for you guys on an entertainment point of view. So I think my opinion, if I think it's good or not, it's kind of irrelevant unless it's in the magic world with other magicians. I think that's where my point. Are
you a part of a magic club? Because I know there's like the Magic Castle in the US.
When I first started, I used to say it was part of the Magic Circle, but no, I've never paid a membership fee for it, never tried. I think for me, the Magic Circle, it's a really good community, and they do put on loads of events and loads of shows. So there's no way I could ever bad mouth the Magic Circle. But my view, and probably loads of magicians are going to go, oh, he's a proper dickhead for saying that. I think it's just like, it just looks good on your magic resume. So if I can say I've done magic X, Y, and Z, and I'm a part of the Magic Circle, I can then probably charge an extra 200 quid, and you're going to go, yeah, it's probably worth it. It's part of the Magic Circle, so yeah, we'll pay it. So I think it's what I think is a good way to make more money. It's
not that hard to become a part of the Magic Circle, and forgive me for saying this because an Australian radio presenter went to America, learnt one trick that wasn't that difficult, right? Did it, and they accepted him in as a legitimate member.
Really?
Of the Magic Circle, and ever since then I've just been like, it just seems so cheap, like.
Yes and no. Back in the day, before like the internet and everything, it was a really prestigious thing. It was like you were like if you were part of the Magic Circle, you'd probably be considered to perform for royalty.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I think it's more like...
If you've got $60 and and 2 hours of your time.
Yeah. But no, I can't badmouth it. I think they do a good thing, and they do a load of like training shows for kids. Because it's one of those hobbies that you can genuinely make like a really good living from and like live a good life. So I think it's good for kids to get into it and learn something different than just... I think nowadays you'll go to school, you'll go to uni, and then you become a recruiter or something, and that's like it. And everyone forgets about all the creative things that you can make a living from.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know.
What do you feel about school? Because in terms of my opinion on school, I feel like they haven't changed the model from when they had kids wanting to be factory workers. A bell rings, it tells you where to go. You sit in class, you're given the task to do. You don't really think for yourself at all. All you do is just complete tasks. You eat meals at a set time. You go at this point, at this time. It's very like herding cattle. And I don't think it's changed an awful lot.
So I know this, one of my friend's ex-girlfriends, she owns a thing called School in the Woods.
Okay.
And basically it's a school in the
woods.
There's no like fancy name. And rather than do like English and maths in a classroom, they do it around a campfire, and they have like little chalets that they've built.
Is this in England?
Yeah, it's in my hometown near Macclesfield.
Okay.
And she's a bit of a hippie girl, but she's such a lovely woman, and she just created the School in the Woods, and it's like it allows kids to be creative, build campfires, collect woods, learn about leaves, learn about like not Pythagoras' theorem and some bullshit like that. So I was thinking about the education system about 6 months ago. Wouldn't it be good if we had a school, right? You start when you're 4, 5, 6, whatever, and you go through to 18. You have to do it all the way through. And when you start, you get given things you would as an adult, but in a child version. So you get given like a bank account, you get given a bank card, and then your classes around maths and stuff, you're learning about mortgages. I'm not saying right when you start, but you have a platform as you go through. So in school, you're not just learning about history and you learn about the relevant stuff, but then you learn about how to get a loan, how to money manage stuff. And some of the classes you can say to the kids, if you don't want to come to class, that's absolutely fine. You can go and play in the garden, but you're not going to get paid to come to this class. And you can have like a virtual currency. So if they do really well and they attend all the classes like you would in a job, you get rewarded. So with this card, that's how they can pay for treats, you can pay for school trips and stuff. And it obviously have to be quite an affluent school, like a private school, because a lot of the children that go to private schools that aren't on scholarships or it's funded do come from affluent families. So it'd probably be a school like that, and I don't think it's fair that you can give to the rich and not to the poor kind of thing, but I think it'd just be a really good trial to have a school that teaches you about real life shit other than things that you're never going to use on a day-to-day basis.
Do you feel like as well, a lot of people, and I feel like in England as well, it's a fucking epidemic, that as soon as you get a job in this country and as soon as you start getting money, you're like, oh my God, I've got my own money. I better fucking spend it before someone takes it off me. The idea of an overdraft baffles me. I've never heard of an overdraft in my entire life. No, I came here, went to open up a bank account with Lloyds, and they go, do you want an overdraft? I was like, what's an overdraft? And the woman goes, what do you mean, what's an overdraft? And I was like, what do you mean, what's an overdraft? We went back and forth for about 10 minutes, and I was like, you mean that, like me, I have no assets in this country. You'll just loan me more money that I don't have. And she was like, yeah, I guess. I was like, why the fuck would I want that? Like, all I'm going to do is end up in debt.
It's a fucking scam, innit? We're going to give you money that you've not got, and we're going to put money on top of that money, and when you can't afford, we'll give you more money, and then you'll just go and kill yourself. So nice one.
It's literally ridiculous, because I was like to her, I said, I have no assets. I said, I arrived here 2 weeks ago, and she was like, well, you can get up to £1,000 overdraft. I was like, but I don't need it. Like,
it's ludicrous, isn't it?
Oh my God, absolutely unbelievable.
This is our country. Welcome to the UK.
I know. Well, so that idea of just learning how to manage money and learning how to manage your fucking life.
Yeah. And the other part of it, I thought, was like when you get to 18, the kids have a choice. If any of them are like aspiring to be a teacher, you could have a university degree part of it. So you don't have to pay to become a teacher. You're just part of the education system. Once you've passed and you're like a qualified teacher, you then have to work for the school for like 2 years. You get paid and stuff, and that's how they can justify paying for you to get a university degree. So then it becomes a system where you go through this educational system, you work for them, and then after a period of time you can leave and you've got this really good education, you've learnt about life, and you've got a university degree without recuperating a shit ton of debt. So I think it's a really good idea. If you worked on it properly, you could like revolutionise the education system.
That is down to you.
Yes, it is.
It's time for you to stop playing around with cards and bloody mucking about. What are your parents' views on what you do?
I don't really speak to my dad anymore. I don't really know why. I do actually. I didn't go to my nana's funeral. I was like mentally, I wasn't in a good place, and I wasn't comfortable seeing family or friends at that point. And then they said, "Are you coming to the funeral?" And I lied. I was like, "No, I've got work. I can't go." And then since then, he just hasn't replied to my texts. So it takes me back to being 9. To be fair, he ran away for like 5 years. He had a divorce, and then we got back in touch. So maybe I'm having deja vu all over again.
Fucking hell.
My mum's proper proud. Like she buzzes off the fact that I get to do what I love every day. And she always sends me like cute little texts. She's like, "I'm so proud of you." I'm like, "Oh, cheers, babe."
Oh, thanks, Mum.
It's dedicated to you, this.
Yeah. So you spend half your time in England and the other half of your time in Spain performing magic for people. But you ran into a bit of trouble with the law while you were overseas.
I thought the law and the
law won.
It fucking did.
The law always wins. What the fuck happened?
So, early doors of my magic career, I just got involved with the wrong people. Like when you're out in like nightclubs and stuff, and when you're working, for some weird reason, I've always become friends with like drug dealers and gangsters. 'Cause they're all the ones in like these like rich countries that are fucking popping bottles and like putting 50s in girls' tits. Not literally, but you get the picture.
Yeah. How much were they putting in your tits?
So the one guy, every time I did a trick, like he'd call me over and be like, "Come over here, show these a trick." I'd do one trick and then he just chucked me a 50. And I thought that was sick, but I was in the toilet once and he got a freshen up off the black guy, you know, the no spray no lay kind of guy.
Yeah.
And he gave him a 50. I was like, my card tricks are well better than his aftershave, you cheapskate. But no,
literally, he went to an ATM. He wanted to get out a grand, and he wanted it in 5s, and they only had 50s. And he was like, "Well, I guess this is what we're working with."
Yeah.
I don't want to be the dickhead that breaks a 50.
Yeah. So yeah, I just started socialising with the wrong people, and I thought it was cool. I was a magician to like the mob kind of shit.
Yeah.
And ended up getting in a lot of debt, like, because I was a fucking bad gambler.
Right.
And I owed, like, the triads, like, 10 grand.
Who are the triads?
They're, like, the Chinese mafia.
Okay.
So I owed some people who work with the triads 10 grand from
In
gambling
Spain?
debts. No, in Manchester.
Okay.
So I was in a bad place. I was like, oh my God.
So you were borrowing money off them?
I was borrowing money off one person to pay another to gamble to make money. I was just in like this vicious circle of owing.
So you were like, if I borrow 5 grand off him, I bet it all on black, I'll win 10 grand and I can pay him back. And then the other guy.
It was just like a couple of grand here, a couple of grand there, and then I'd pay him a bit back, and he'd see me giving him money, and he's like, "Do you want some more money?" And then I was like, "Yes, please, give me whatever you've got." And then it just at one point I was like, I'm in a whole heap of shit. I need to do something. So as somebody who isn't a criminal, decided to try and become a criminal. Okay. So I went into my wardrobe and looked for a disguise, and I found a Halloween monkey mask. So I walked to the Bargain Booze near my house. I sit on the corner for a while thinking, I'm going to rob this shop. I'm going to use that money to gamble and make more money. So I'm sat there for half an hour giving myself like a pep talk, like, you can fucking do it, you can do it. Pop the mask on, waltz into the shop, and I went, "Give me the money." She says, "No." And I go, "I'll come and get it myself." She says, "No." And I go, "I'll come back later." And then I run out of the shop.
Do you have a weapon with you?
No, just a drawstring bag and a mask. And then I peg it up the road. I'm like, this is the worst thing I've ever done in my life. And I take the mask off and I chuck it in a bin. Bearing in mind it's only 100 metres from where the shop was, so the police obviously didn't need to be Sherlock Holmes to find the mask in the bin 100 metres up the road. And I had my DNA in, because when I was 14 I told the police officer to fuck off because I thought it was hard.
Oh my God.
So then I get arrested, and I was too scared to go to court. I was like, I'm not ready to have a criminal record. So I flew back to Spain, and then I missed my court date, so I was...
What? Hang on, stop. Hang on. So the police found your DNA, they came after you and said, here's your date to appear in court.
So they arrested me, and gave me that, so I was on unconditional bail, so I had the freedom to do whatever I wanted for a period of time.
You went to that court date.
Yeah.
And you shit the bed and went to Spain.
I was pretty back then, so I was probably going to get bummed. So I grew a beard.
You're probably going to get bummed now.
Yeah. Well,
Doesn't matter what you look like, mate.
This is a fair one.
We're going to talk about bumming later.
I can't wait. So I go technically on the run, and because I'd missed a court date and it had gone to Crown Court, they
So hang on, what were you being charged with? Robbery?
Attempted robbery.
Okay.
And obviously now I'd skipped court. One thing that got added to my criminal record was
obstruction of justice, or
no, it was like absconding from like your court date. So they knew that I was in Spain because I was posting on like social media like living life in Marbella.
You're fucking thick as fuck, Chad.
I wasn't designed to be a criminal. So they knew where I was, so they put me on Interpol, which is so I had a European arrest warrant out for me. And then one night in Marbella, the police stopped a group of us just because we were like congregated together. So they were seeing what the shit was. And then they took out all our details. And when they took my name, it came up that I had a European arrest warrant. So I got arrested in Marbella, taken to a prison in Madrid.
All because you went and asked for some money and a mask and a bag of booze in Macclesfield.
Yeah.
So, hang on, they took you to a cell?
Yeah, and then I got taken to prison in Spain for like 3 weeks, and then I got extradited. They had to wait for the extradition papers to come through.
And what was prison in Spain like?
You're out your cell all day, got to play football, got to play this game called handball, which is a ball with your hand and you hit it against the wall.
Yeah, with like a little ball. Yeah, we used to play that at school.
So it was just like a shit holiday with Thomas Cook, to be fair. And so I had to wait for the extradition papers to come through.
So Spanish prison, alright?
I mean, I wouldn't say go to prison, have a good time, but as far as a prison experience goes, Spanish prison wasn't a bad experience.
Okay.
So and then I got extra.
Was there a lot of like Spanish people in there, or
a lot of like drug mules and stuff from like Colombia and places like that?
Right.
So they're all sick at football. Like they try and snap my legs when I played with them. Like they didn't like me. So.
And did they speak English?
I speak a little bit of Spanish, so I kind of got by. I'm not fluent, but I have enough to like. Please don't bum me.
Please don't bum me. What's that in Spanish?
I can't remember.
You remembered for those 3 weeks, eh? Yeah. It was the tip of your tongue, mate.
A tip of something.
So they extradited you back to England?
Yeah, so the British police, like the 3 officers came and got me from the prison, took me to the airport and flew me back.
This is so expensive.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, taxpayers.
Fucking hell.
Cheers for the free flight back. No,
oh my God.
So I ended up getting flown back, and then I went to court and I got sentenced to 15 months. Out of the 15 months, I served 4, and then was on tag for 3 months, and then I was on licence for like 9 months.
What's on licence mean?
You have to go to probation like once every week, and after a period of time it goes down to like once every 3-4 weeks. Right.
And on tag, is that house arrest where you can't leave your house?
I'm allowed out from like 7 in the morning until 7 at night. So I missed my tag, like it beeped once. I was when we spoke, he came to visit me in prison, and I said, Dad, I want to go on Britain's Got Talent. I've got a great story here. I'm going to go on Britain's Got Talent. He went, right, I'll get you all the paperwork. So he did it, and ended up getting through all the audition round, and I'm pretty sure it was
because you were still doing magic at this point.
Yeah.
Did you do any magic in jail?
Yeah. You know what? If I didn't, I made loads of like mates and stuff, and no one ever had a problem with me. Everyone liked me. If I didn't have my playing cards, I think it would have been a different situation. Just because I don't hang around with anyone who's like a criminal or like chavvy or involved, like can take a beating. All my mates are fucking pussies.
Shout out to them. Big up you big pack of pussies.
So no one ever really gets in trouble. So like the people in jail are not necessarily the people I would socialise with, and if I'd seen them out, I'd probably be pretty intimidated by them, seeing them out in the street. So I was pretty lucky that everyone got on with me, I guess. So. Because
of the magic, or because of who you were?
No, I'm joking. I think it was like because when they're in for a period, they wouldn't have seen magic in prison. So like their days, it's quite monotonous. You do the same thing, same routine kind of thing. So when you get something to spice it up, it's like this is sick. Like you can do magic tricks kind of thing. So.
So were they like, how did you introduce it? How did you get the playing cards?
I impressed the people on reception desks when I was getting scanned in. I was like, I'm a magician. Is there any chance I can just take my playing cards for it? And they went, if you show us a trick. So I showed them a trick and they were like, yeah, go ahead. So yeah, I was allowed my playing cards in prison.
That's unbelievable. Little did they know. There's a little something cashed in the cards.
I should have done a fucking... Nah, they proper scrutinise everything that goes through. They're proper like looking at everything individually. So I think if I would have smuggled it through, smuggling's big in prison, you know. Like,
how do they get it through? Do you think?
So the way it works, the main way is people do throws, and there's a kid on the outside.
Like chuck it, throw it in.
Yeah, so they'll get like a tennis ball or like a little ball, and then they'll tape it in black or something, like loads of tape around it. And this kid's got like the arm of like, he could be a quarterback. He rides around on his little scooter, goes to all these prisons, and just throbs it over, and his pinpoint accuracy, he tells somebody, I'm going to throw it at X point at X time and it's going to land there. Somebody's waiting and they're just walking because they know something's going to throw over, and he just walks, he catches it, puts it under his top and goes. It's like a proper machine. He just throws it, and there's no like.
Who is the kid and what's in the bag?
Just a little scally, I think, that like wants 50 quid a throw. So
and what's he throwing in? Drugs?
Mobile phones, drugs, anything that's contraband that people want that they can't get inside.
And he'll just throw it.
Yeah, like for little Nokia 3310s, little brick phones, you pay like a $1 for them.
100 quid? Yeah,
for like a phone you'd buy an antenna for the outside. Everything's like 10x inside.
Oh my god.
Yeah, there's a big black market, like big money to be made in the side if you like wanted to.
So why did this is so fascinating. So right, how do you go about walking into prison, checking in the first time, and then like just approaching people and being like, don't bum me, I'll show you a magic trick. Like, how are these interactions? What happens?
When you're in there, it's like every week there's like a changeover day. Basically, changeover day is when you get new prisoners that are coming in.
Okay.
Because I don't know why, it's just like when people get changed from one prison to another, it seems to be like, for example, it'd be on a Tuesday. So every Tuesday, you know, you're probably going to get somebody new on your wing. So when the doors open in the morning, you go and get your breakfast, you'll have a look, see if there's anyone new, and you'll see, Dale's not in his cell anymore, what's he done, has he done? And then, he's new, what's he doing? Fucking looks like a pedo, don't talk to him.
Yeah.
So yeah, you just kind of figure out, and then you'll cross each other's path or something, or you'll say, I am because when you first get on, you've got fuck all, and there's people who own a shop on the wing, right? And basically it's like a self-employed little Asian shop, like a corner shop. So the way it works, say I wanted a bottle of Coke, and I didn't have a bottle of Coke. In his shop, in his cell, he would have a bottle of Coke. He'd give it to me, and when I get my weekly food shop that you have in prison, I have to give him 2 of these back. So he's just making like 100% profit on everything. So if you take like...
But this is a prisoner in his own cell. Yeah, but he's holding on to like commissary...
he's accumulated like loads of shit. So he's just got like...
How long's he in there for though?
It's probably a lifer, isn't he?
Okay.
Yeah, even my next door neighbour, and I walked in, I was like, oh my god, he had like 54 shower gels. Like, I was like, what are you, some form of tramp that needs to clean up? Like, he was like, I own the shop, mate. I was like, what shop? And it was all new to me, and so I learned what the shop was. And because he was so every wing in a prison will have somebody who runs a shop, right?
Okay.
Everybody loves him because everybody wants something from him at some point, so you always try and keep on his good side. I got lucky, he was my next door neighbour, so you just speak to each other through the pipes at the bottom, like, yeah mate, are you watching that movie on Channel 4? No, I've got porn on. Right, okay. So yeah, you
had a TV in the cell?
Yeah, he had a TV, you have like sort of free view, so you'd have like BBC 1, 2, ITV, Channel 4, 5, Film.
So you're not that cut off from the outside in a way?
You know, when I look at prison, I wish my experience was worse. Because if I needed to commit a crime again, if I was in like a really... I'm not saying I'd need to commit a crime, but if I was in a really bad place and I ended up getting arrested and going to prison, it wouldn't intimidate me going back.
Really?
No, it doesn't scare me. The consequence of it is you lose time, right? But
your life is just put on pause.
Yeah, you put on
pause.
And some parts of prison is really, really good. Like... For people who are in for a long time, they get the opportunity they can rebuild their education, so you can get GCSEs, and if you're in for a long time, you can even sometimes get a university degree. So there's a lot of people in the youth who are involved with the wrong people. One way or another, they've ended up in prison for something that's not good, right? But when you're young, it's easy to make a mistake. So if you're in a place for a long time, you get the opportunity to learn new skills and stuff. So when you come out, you have an opportunity to be rehabilitated. And I think that's as a society...
That's how prison should work.
Yeah, our biggest problem with society is we don't respect the rehabilitation program. Once somebody's got a criminal record and done something, it's really hard to be perceived as the guy who's not the criminal. So when I first came out of prison, everyone speaks to me, you're the guy who went to jail, because it made like national news, so it went in like the Mirror, the Sun, the Mail, the Star.
Your story?
Yeah, because I performed magic for like a fair few celebrities, it became a big thing, like magician to the stars in Botched Raid. They made it sound like I'd done a bank robbery. It's a fucking bargain booze, you shit cunts.
It's a fucking bargain booze with no weapons.
No. So yeah, it got made a big deal of.
Have you been back to that bargain booze to buy?
No, but I did when I was in prison. I did write her a letter. I wrote a really apologetic letter, and she wrote back saying, "Thank you. I really appreciate it. I know because in a small town, everybody sort of knows who everybody is.
Yeah.
So she knew who I was once I'd got arrested, and she wrote back. She was like, "I understand. I know it's not. It didn't seem any characteristic." And she works in a shop near my house, and we don't say hello or anything, but she doesn't look intimidated. She serves me and she asks me how I am, so she doesn't seem intimidated by me.
Yeah.
Anymore.
And she definitely knows who you are?
Yeah, she knew who I was just because we lived on like the same estate.
Okay.
So, and some of her kids would like, when I was like kicking a football about, we'd sort of mix around and stuff.
Right.
But yeah, when I first came out of prison, I was forever known as the guy who robbed a shop, the guy who wore a monkey mask, like, you're the dickhead who did X, Y and Z. But now, because I've put in a lot of hard work and effort to re-establish myself as a magician and what I'd like to be known for, since I came back from England, a lot of people in my hometown know who I am, and they're coming up to me and going, you're the guy who does magic tricks, I've seen your videos on Instagram, I saw the video that got shared by Sport Back. They're just seeing me for who I am, not who I was.
Yeah.
But it's not an overnight process once you leave prison to become...
Was that a really hard time for you? Like, do you feel like there's a lot of issues with mental illness, identity crisis, anxiety? Yeah,
massively.
In prison and outside?
No, in prison, it's like a bubble, it's not a real world, so... The hardest part of the overall prison experience is once you leave and you go back into society, because nobody wants to give you a second chance. I'd go for multiple interviews, and I'm pretty good with people. I'd get offered most jobs that I'd interview for, and then it'd come to the point, do you have a criminal record? Yes, right. So I got offered a job, started one day. At no point in the interview process had they mentioned anything about, do you have a criminal record? It got brought to light because everybody knew about it in my hometown. So on my first day of work, about halfway through, they went, unfortunately, we're not going to carry on your employment because we found out you've got a criminal record. Now, yeah, I'd done wrong, but if you're not going to give me a chance, what was the point of me going to prison in the first place to become rehabilitated if society's not going to give me a chance? And I think that's why a lot of people reoffend, because there's only so much shit you can take before you join with them. If everyone says you're a dickhead and you're worthless and you're always going to be a criminal, if that's said to you enough times... You start to believe it, so you'll just get into that way. So
is that why you think you knuckled down so hard on being a magician, where you didn't have to be employed by anyone? No one sort of dictated to you how this was going to go, and do you feel like you clutched onto that, grasped onto that so hard because you were like, no one else is going to give me a shot, so I have to create a shot?
So I took a 2-year break, got a real job. I worked with a health and safety company for a while. Like, I could have had a real career. I became like the marketing manager, and they were going to pay for me to do like qualifications, and then if I'd stay with them for a while, I could, as a marketing manager, you can get like 50-60k a year, and that's like a good life. And for someone who's been to prison to get that is I think it's quite impressive. I think. So I took a 2-year break, and I took that time to just, what do I want to do? How am I going to be able to do magic every day and do what I love, and not let it fail, and not let the past jeopardise what I'm trying to do in the future? So the break was really good for me. So last April, I decided, right, I'm going to quit everything. I'm going to become a full-time magician again, and it's been a good ride so far. So far, so good. Rocking on nicely.
So, where is the ultimate end goal for you? What do you envisage?
I've set it pretty high. Like if I get there, it'll be a bit of a miracle. But I think it's good to, if I get halfway there, I'll be buzzing. But if I get all the way, I would love to have. I would love to tour the country with a comedy magic show. I'd love to be able to sell out an arena and just do that every day. It'd be unreal. But even if I just get halfway there, I'll be able to do magic for the rest of my life and do all the weddings and corporate stuff. But to be able to do on stage comedy magic for the rest of my life and do it every day, that's like the ultimate dream.
Have you ever like fucked up a trick in front of someone really important?
Not important, no. Like
just a regular fucking scum.
No, yeah, somebody who's not paying me. So when I'm on a night out and stuff, and people go, "Oh, you show us a card trick," I'm like, "Fuck it, yeah." So
are they always scams?
Yeah, I just don't know how to impersonate anyone else.
Right.
So they'll always like, "Do a trick." I'm like, right. And I don't really like give it my all. I still make it look impressive, but I don't give it as much energy as I could.
Yeah.
And sometimes it goes wrong, and then you can always like come back and make it go right.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing. If you can recover from a mistake and make it look good, I think that's like the.
Have you ever like made a mistake and someone's been like uber disappointed with you, being like, yeah. "Why have you fucked up?" Like.
So I've got this trick, right, where you'll go onto Wikipedia, you'll search for a famous person, a place, an object, anything you want. You'll scroll through the article and you'll look for a word in the article, and it'll be like a big word. And then after you've done that, you put your phone in your pocket, and I mind read speech brackets. I don't really mind read, and I'll tell you what the word is that you looked at and what the article is you searched for. And the way the trick works, you need to be in good signal service. You need to have good network coverage with your phone. And it wasn't there, so for 20 minutes I was just looking at him trying to guess the word. And at the end of after 20 minutes I was like, this probably isn't going to work, and they were so disappointed. They didn't look to me like I'd fucking shagged his daughter. And he didn't want me to shag his daughter.
So, hang on. The trick is the person goes on Wikipedia, looks at an article. Yeah. So say I'm looking at an article about pandas, right?
Yeah.
And I find the word bamboo.
Yeah, I will be able to tell you it's bamboo and it's pandas, but if I'm not in a good network area...
Are you looking at your phone?
I don't know. Who knows? Well, join the Magic Circle for 60 quid a year, then you'll find out.
What's your favourite trick that you have? I don't think it's that one.
No, it's an unreal trick. When it works like 99% of the time, but if network it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
Sorry, the 4G's down. I can't read your mind.
So I would have been fucked the other day when O2 pissed at the wall. I could put a complaint in. I've not been able to work for 3 weeks because
not been able to read minds for fucking ages. Got no fucking 3G, cunt.
That's so funny. It's probably it's the way I finish a trick. I get in the group, if I'll get someone to choose a number. So if there's 10 members, I will say to you, pick a number between 1 and 10. So if they pick 7, I get 7 people from the group to pick a card. It gets put into the deck, I shuffle, and then I reveal each card in a different way. So I might flick one out of the deck, I might pull one from my bid, I'll take the one from the bid, shake it and it'll change. And then the end one is one comes from my pocket, and then I have the deck of cards in my hand, and I just go, and then they just disappear from my hand, and it looks really visual, really, it just looks really nice. And the way I see magic, it's a bit like an art form. It needs to just look nice. You can do the best trick in the world, but if you don't make it look nice, what's the point in doing it?
Do you feel like it's harder for magicians, performers, people like yourself to do magic tricks on video or live in front of someone's face? Or you feel like in front of their face you can trick them better?
I prefer being a magician in the real world. You do get magicians that are internet magicians, and that's cool. They're really good at it. But are they as good in real life? Could they do the stuff you see on video in your face like that? So there's a magician called Shin Lim, and he's probably
I've seen him.
The Asian kid. He
does the thing with the smoke out of his mouth and stuff.
He's a god. Like, he calls himself a level 60 warlock. Like, he's a bit of a nerd, so it's a gaming thing, I think.
He doesn't speak either.
No, and his act, I think that's an absolute piece of art, what he does. It's called 52 Shades of Red. If he was working a wedding or a birthday corporate, the kind of stuff I do, 90% of that routine he wouldn't be able to do in a walk around environment. So that's where magic. That's where you get into like the logistics. Not the logistics. When you think of magic, you just think card tricks, chopping someone in half. But there's so many different sectors to magic. So you've got like close-up walk around magic. That you get like corporate events and stuff. Then you get an internet magician. So people who do tricks that make really cool videos on the internet. It looks good, but they couldn't do it in real life. Then you get your stage magicians. You get illusionists, mentalists. So there's such a broad spectrum of magic that's. So when people say to me, "Can you put a phone in a bottle?" I go, "No, I'm not hired by Channel 4, so I can't." So.
Do you know how they did that though?
I've never read. I've not, because with a trick like that you can buy the secret, but I don't think that trick's for sale. I think it was made specifically for Dynamo.
They've done a reveal thing on whatchamacallit.
What, for that trick?
Yeah,
Oh, really?
So what it was is they had a piece of card down the middle of the bottle. So
really?
as he flips it, the iPhone goes to a mini iPhone at the back, and when he pulls the two in half, he has like a sticker over the side, and as he like sticks it, and then he goes like that, and it looks like he does it, but he just flips it over, and it looks like it's half and half.
Proper sneaky bastard, isn't it?
It seems very basic once you
know how
it's
a lot
done.
of the tricks is like, it's so simple, but
yeah, it just looks slick as fuck.
Yeah. So yeah, that's not my kind of magic. So, and I'll leave the magicians do their thing, because they might not be able to do the stuff that I do as well as I can. And
do you just fuck with cards, or do you want to do like locking yourself in a fucking like tub of water, chained up and all that jazz?
Nah, I think that's cool to watch, but I just couldn't see myself creating an act for it, because to do that kind of stuff is proper expensive. Like there's one trick with a chalkboard, and it's a stage trick, and you're not even chopping anyone off, but it costs like $3,500, and it's a really good trick, but I don't get enough gigs to be able to do that trick enough times to warrant value for money.
Yeah.
And ultimately, it is a money game. You need to be able to make money you need to be able to make money to spend money. So if I'm not making money from buying that, it's an irrelevant purchase for me.
Do you ever fuck with like special effects like fire and smoke and all that?
I used to use like flash paper, so it looked like a £20 note or a £10 note. You'd burn it, it'd make a big flash, and then you can have something palmed in your hand, and then when you bring it out, you go, "Oh my god, it's a rose," kind of shit like that. But,
right.
My routine is based on, we all know magic isn't real.
Yeah.
There's always a way to do it, and it looks cool to do. So I sort of explain how to do it, but leave you with a still sense of like, you've told me how you did that, but I still didn't see it, I don't get it. So yeah. I want you to understand what I'm doing, but still be confused at the end of it, and that's what my act's based on, I think. Probably.
So can you see, like, in the future for yourself that you do anything other than like magic and comedy and be a performer, or have you put all your eggs in this basket so hard that there's literally no other options for you? You have to succeed. There's no plan B.
I'm pretty embedded in this whole magic thing. I think as close as magic goes, I'll be able to do that until I'm 60, until I get arthritis or something. I don't think there'll be ever a point where I couldn't not do it as a living. To progress on to do the stage stuff, I've just got to do so much background work that if I did become famous, people would have never seen the background work that I put in. Yep. So I spend 2 hours a day on Instagram, right? About an hour of it is looking at a location on Instagram in like Manchester, and I like every photo that's been tagged in Manchester. Like yesterday I was in Stourbridge. I did it to about 250 accounts of like, I'd go on their account, see what they're doing, like the photos and comment, just so people see my profile. I'll also DM about 20 famous people a day if I know that, like so last year at Primavera in Barcelona, there was loads of like up and coming acts, and I DM'd a load of them to say, hey,
what sort of acts, like DJs?
Like up and coming bands and stuff. Like
okay.
Some of them got blue ticks, like some have got like 100,000 followers, some have got like 50, and I'd go through all the followers of the band that it is and try and find like the tour manager, the artist manager. I did it with the F1, and it was like 3 days before, and I got a message back saying we would have loved to, but we've already arranged our stuff. Next time we're in town, so like this year, DM them again. And it's just about getting exposure. Like Charlotte Dorsey, like, she's a reality star. I didn't ask her to do this. I was doing magic.
Is that Charlotte from Geordie Shore?
No, she's her dad was Les Dawson, like an old school comic.
Okay.
And she's been on like a few reality shows. I was doing magic in a bar for her, not because of who I didn't know who she was, to be fair. And she uploaded a video on her Instagram, like on her actual profile, and it got like 250,000 views. So if I can do one of them a month and get my name tagged in it, ultimately it's just going to grow me as a brand. So that's what I do. So a lot of the background, there's loads of other stuff, like I've emailed every festival in England to ask them if there's like a magician to perform for their clients, like the guests that are coming, maybe do some social media marketing, and for stuff like that I'll do it for free, because
the exposure
of it is just tenfold. Yeah. Like, we're in such a good time at the moment, like, we all use the internet. And so...
Do you feel sorry for magicians that started 30 years ago?
No, I envy them, because their work ethic would have had to be 10 times more impressive than the magicians of today. Like, Julius Dean is a Facebook magician and Instagram, and his content reaches, like, I reckon some days it can reach like 5 to 7 million people when he uploads a video.
Right.
That's more than you'll get on Channel 4, ITV and BBC One combined if you pay for an advert. Yeah. And it's not costing them a penny other than the actual purchase of the trick and paying someone to video it. And you
have to buy the tricks?
Well, but you have to pay for it. Even just a simple card trick, I've still got to pay £3 for a deck of cards, right?
Oh, right, so
so once you've got your...
There's not like a royalties on a trick? Like
No, like some tricks you can buy, anywhere can range between £5 to £500. So... Like, there's some really good tricks that are like £300-400.
Who do you pay?
When you buy them from the magic shops.
Oh, right, okay. So you just buy the props, though, but it's not like the rights to a trick, like...
Sort of. When you buy a trick, you're paying for the secret, and because you paid to learn the secret, I guess you're sort of paying for the right to be able to perform that trick.
Okay. What about if you think of an original trick? Can you sell that trick to other magicians?
You need to go to like companies that manufacture tricks and stuff. Like the biggest one is probably Murphy's Magic.
Okay.
And any magic trick that you buy from any shop probably comes from Murphy's Magic.
Right.
So you'd go to them with your idea. If they like it, they'll create it, and sometimes you fund it yourself, like the videos, and then you take maybe 80% of the trick and they take 20%.
Right.
Or they might fund it with you. Say if they think it's a really good project, they'll be like, "Yeah, we'll go 50% on this with you." And then so yeah, some people make a lot of money from the magic world. And there's some people who were magicians and now they're just creators and they're involved in the back scene. Like the guy called Daniel Madison, a really good sleight of hand guy, and his big thing now is manufacturing cards and doing tutorials on sleight of hand and stuff. Like his act is based on being a card shark, so cheating at games of poker. Yeah. And that's where he started. So he teaches a lot of the techniques of how to bottom deal, how to second deal, how to chop to any ace in the deck whenever you want, kind of stuff. So
I've got a question for you. Had you ever been to London?
Yeah.
Have you seen the scam that goes on that bridge in London where there's like a bunch of Brazilians and they've got the cup and the ball?
Cup and the ball, yeah.
People are like paying like 20s and 50s and all this money is just being thrown around. Yeah. It's like, where's the ball? Where's the ball? But how does it work? It's a scam, isn't it?
It's like a sleight of hand, misdirection, and...
But the guy moving the balls around is always losing.
So the reason why he loses, he's losing to his friends.
Yes, that's what I thought.
And then when a tourist comes by and sees...
Because he gave me 20 quid. He put 20 quid in my hand, because I was watching. I was like, you can see where the ball is every time. Like, he's very bad at what he's doing. Yeah. And then so it was like... And they were like picking the wrong one on purpose. And then they were like, what one do you think? And I was like, I think it's that. And he's like, well done. He gives me another 20 quid. Now I've got 40 quid in my hand. And then he's like, give it back to me, give it back. He's like, now you pay 20 quid. And I was like, I don't have 20 quid. Like, I can't participate.
Yeah, and that's the art of it. It's really, to be a good magician means I can't perform a magic trick badly. I don't know how to not shuffle a deck of cards. I do not know how to not lose a card on purpose. So a good magician... A really good magician can make a trick look bad, and that's what they do. They make it look bad, and that's the real art of it. When it comes to the actual move where they fool you, that's the easy bit.
So as soon as I put money forward is when they.
Here we got him, and then they just step up the game, and that's where they mug you.
Unbelievable, because there was like 3 different groups of them doing it on this bridge.
Yeah, I think it's one of the oldest like scams in the book. Like
yeah,
I think it came from like early 1800s, if not earlier.
But there was 3 people around. That's what I thought, and I was like, these people, because everyone was just chucking money to everyone. This woman was like, hey, 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 and then a guy just gives her 20 quid so she could play again. And I was like, no one would do that if these people didn't know each other. Like, it was. If
so something weird. Seems too good to be true, it probably is.
Yeah.
Like fairground games. Too good to be true. You can't win that big bear by climbing up that silly ladder. Yeah. It's fucking impossible.
What's the ladder? What do you mean?
Have you never been to a fun fair in England?
Yeah, oh no, not in England.
So they have one of the old school games is it's a ladder attached to 2 ends and it just spins around. And apparently there's a technique where you can climb up it. If you climb up to the top and ring the bell, you win a prize. Okay. And it's normally like a fuck off teddy. Nobody can climb that ladder. Like, it's
impossible.
Not impossible, but you've got to be like Mo Farah or some shit like that.
Okay.
I couldn't think of like an acrobat.
Who's Mo Farah?
He's the runner that runs really fast.
He's a fucking Olympic sprinter.
Olympian. You have to be an Olympian to climb up the ladder.
Yeah.
I'm not an Olympian.
You could have picked a more famous Olympian.
I couldn't think. To be better, if he ran up that ladder, he'd probably ring the bell. He's pretty fast.
That would be ring it with his toe as he got to the top.
And then he got proper famous for doing the M over his head. And he got an OBE. Obviously, he's done loads of shit, but like he's M over his head.
So, I wanted to ask you. I've already asked what your favourite trick is. Is there any trick that you are sick to death of doing?
Not sick to death of, but a lot of people ask me to. When they've seen this trick once, they'll go and get all the mates over and ask me to do it again. And I'm like,
have I seen this trick?
Yeah, it's the one. Do you know where I got the kids' magic box out and I did the sponge balls?
Yeah.
So I don't normally use the box. I just bought it because for comical. I think it added to the trick.
Yeah.
Because when you're on a stage, I think you need something more visual. So it's part of my act. I pull out 1 sponge ball, put it in their hand, and then they get 2, and then 2 goes to 3, and then ultimately I ask them to think about something. If it's a girl, I'll say think about something you've not had in a while. If it's a guy, think about something you've not used in a while. And when they shake their hands, the 3 balls turn into a big black cock. And it's really funny, it's good, but when I've done it to a group 4 times in a row because Sarah hadn't seen it and little Jessica hadn't seen it, fuck off Jessica, go and get a Jaeger bomb, you slag.
Good to see that the people mean everything to you.
I couldn't do it without you.
Fuck off Jessica, you slag. Go get another Jaeger bomb.
Is that a thing in Australia, Jaeger bombs?
Yeah.
Is it? I thought it was like just a British cunt culture.
Nah, you guys have striker bombs here at Wetherspoons because the tax on Jaeger is too high for Wetherspoons, and they're the most pro-Brexit bar you've ever met.
I like Weathers, do good food.
Do they?
Yeah,
you know, there's a Valentine's Day special.
20 quid. That's expensive, I think, for Weathers. Like,
well, you get 2 drinks, 2 mains, and 2 desserts. For 20.
To be fair though, if you're taking a bird to Wetherspoons on Valentine's Day, she's probably not the one for you.
Do you reckon? What about if you just don't have a lot of cash?
I don't know. Well, so whoever's going to slide us in the DMs, we'll see how it works out. We'll go Weathers. We'll do a TripAdvisor review at the end of it.
Another desperate request for love.
Always plug.
What has your love life been like?
I've had 1 serious girlfriend in my life.
Okay.
And then I've dated a few girls and like being abroad and like I'm not like the most amazing looking guy, but when you're a magician, there's not many magicians around. I guess girls find it interesting. So when I was abroad, I was either a rep or a magician. When young girls go on holiday and they see like a rep, they think it automatically makes you like a little bit more like interesting because you're not just a lad on holiday. You're working abroad. I don't know if this is true or not, but
you're selling tickets to like a fucking party boat.
I know that, and you're working like slaves. But when girls go on holiday, they think they're gonna get like 3 drinks or something, so they're always like more interested to speak to you.
Because they think you have a connection.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
Jimmy the bartender. And he's fucking pouring watered down vodkas at fucking triple the price.
If you don't know Jimmy, you know nobody.
No.
So it did help getting girls back in the day. But ever since I broke up with my girlfriend, like I've lost all game. Like my chat's good, and when it comes to actually figuring out I could kiss this girl and maybe finger her, I back out. I'm gone with the wind.
If only you'd done that out the front of Bargain Booze that day, life would have been very different for you.
I think I'd probably still be in jail for fingering someone outside the shop.
fingered the shopkeeper. Watch out, love. Pew, pew. Oh my God. Well, we have done almost an hour.
Have we really?
Yeah. Is there anyone that you'd like to thank or say good day to?
I'd like to take this moment to thank absolutely nobody.
No, that's to apologise to no one.
I apologise. He's a boss him. You know what, it's just a lot of bars give me the opportunity to come in and do magic to people every day. So like the O Styles, the Alchemist, Peaky Blinders, Dutton, Slug and Lettuce. There's a few others as well. Just nice one because they don't ask me for any money. I don't ask them for any money, and it's what a great opportunity to hand my business cards out. And I wouldn't be able to get the work that I would without them giving me the opportunity.
Yeah.
So I'm really grateful for them, and anyone who just kind of like compliments me on what I do. There's nothing more rewarding than someone being truly nice to you for something that you're good at. Like, it just means the world. So any monetary value is irrelevant when people tell you you're good at what you do. Because people don't have to compliment me, and it's so nice for people to say, that was really good, you've made my night, I thought you were unreal. It just makes it's the best feeling in the world. You
are a very good magician, and on and off the mic, a very nice guy to hang out with. Like, thanks, bro. If you want to hang out here for the next fucking half hour, like I'm in. We can just hang out. But I'm going to turn the mic off now because the pressure's on, and we haven't been able to speak freely during this time.
No.
Right, beautiful. Thanks for listening. Next up, we're going to have Mr. Harry Stachini. So click the fucking next one if you want.